Hi everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow out of Diagnostics. Today we have a fancy, pretty new vehicle, 23 Chevy Suburban, loaded with only 15,000 miles. And this truck came from the auction. It was crashed in the front. The owner got it cheap, well, compared to a new one. They replaced the bumper, some radar modules, and now he says his cruise control does not work. You know, the body shop, they just installed the parts. They didn't do any programming or diagnostics. And he took it to a dealer, and the dealer said this might take 15 hours, he said, and it would cost like thousands and thousands of dollars, and we can't guarantee any results. It could be a broken wire, blah blah blah. So we're here to take a look at it. Let's scan it for codes and see what we find. So after a full code scan, they had a whole bunch of history codes. This thing has at least 30 computers, probably more. Cleared them all out, did a rescan, and these are the current codes. Again, apologies for the glare, but we have missing communication with short range sensor left front, right front, and the long range radar. So 3 communication codes, and you can see these 3 modules are grayed out. So we can't talk to them, we can't program them, obviously. So the long range sensor, the short range right front sensor, and the short range left front sensor. So after a crash, the first thing you want to do is, well, you know, things could have been cut, shorted out. Let's check the power feed to these radar sensors. Let's look up some diagrams and see where they get the power feed. Okay, so on AllData, I looked up wiring diagrams for the short range sensor. There's right front and left front, and it looks like the power comes from fuse F11 UA 15 amp in X50A, which is the engine wiring harness junction block. For the long range sensor, this little thing right here, look, it's the same fuse that powers it. So right away, that's the first thing I want to check, but we have to locate the fuse, because this thing probably has hundreds of fuses and 10 fuse boxes. So looking up X50A top view, F11 is going to be right there. So let's go to the truck and check F11, and it should be hot at all times. See the B+? That should be powered up all the time. Okay, so test light connected to battery ground. If it finds the power, it's going to light up. On our little diagram, fuse F11 is going to be right there. Should be a 15 amp. There it is. So it's hot on that side. Bingo! We have a blown fuse. So let's install a fuse. We can even check for a short to ground. I'm sure it's fixed because the whole truck is, you know, back together. But we can play it safe. Install a 5 amp test light. Make sure the modules come online, and then see if we need to program them. Alright, test light's plugged in. There is no short at the moment. Let's just switch the ignition on. So we hold the button for whatever, 10 seconds. Okay, ignition's on. Now let's hit clear DTCs. And then we'll rescan everything and see if these 3 modules come back online. Okay, so here's the new scan. We actually have more codes now. Lost communication with short range radar sensor right front. So the right front did not come back online. The left front and the long range did. But it says invalid data received, unable to authenticate serial data message, blah blah blah. So same with that one. Map not updated. Invalid data received. Okay, so let's clear all these out again. Let me save these in a report. So we still have more problems. The blown fuse was just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so these two radar modules still have a whole bunch of invalid data received because they are not programmed to the vehicle, obviously, because they were offline to begin with. So as suspected, however, the right front is still offline, so we have two issues left. We need to get this back online and then do a full factory programming on all three units. So that was the preliminary diagnosis. We found a blown fuse, restored power to at least these two, and we might have to do some tear down of the front end to see what's going on with the right front, and then programming. Alright, under the truck, I managed to get the right front radar module unplugged. Here is the connector. We see butt connectors right here. It was all wrapped in electrical tape, and there's one wire that's apparently not used. Well, let's check the pins and the wiring colors just to see if they spliced them correctly. So on the right front, we have pins 1 and 3 are a ground. Pin 4 is a power coming from that fuse. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8 are communication wires. White and gray, blue and gray, white and gray, blue and gray. So the communication wires, I don't think it matters, you know, the pairs, you can swap them around, meaning the two white and grays or the two blue and grays. So those are fine. The power, right here on pin 4, let's just double check that with a little test light. Connect to battery ground. So if I connect my test light to ground, if the test light finds the power, it's going to light up like that. So let's check pin 4. Sure enough, test light is lighting. Now let's move the test light to pin to power, and if we find a ground with our probe, test light's going to light up. So pins 1 and 3 should be grounded. Pin 1 grounded. Pin 2 is grounded. Pin 3 is not grounded. So instead of grounding pin 3, they left that loose and grounded pin 2. And that's probably why this whole radar is offline. So we just need to ground this pin instead of pin 2. We can even swap the pins around. That might be easier, or solder the wires, and then plug it in and see if this comes back online. Alright, it literally took a minute to take this white retainer out, and just there's little plastic tabs that you hold back with a needle probe and just pull the wires out. So I swapped pins 2 and 3. So now pins 1 and 3 are grounded. Let's plug it in and see if this comes online. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see if our right front radar came online. Yes. Awesome, we're in. So we can clear DTCs. And we should have 4 codes left because this thing's not programmed. There you go, invalid data, blah blah blah. Excellent. And in the SDGM, we should have a history code that it lost comm with the right front radar, but it should not be a current code. See, history code, so clear DTCs, yes. So now, oh, I guess it shut off. Now we can do the programming. So there's a separate charge. We fixed 2 issues already: blown fuse and improper pin splicing at the right front radar sensor. So far, no parts required. Now we can quote the customer separately for programming these 3 modules. Alright, so customer obviously approved the programming of the B233 short-range radar sensor modules. These are all programmed together, I guess. The long-range and 2 short-range sensors. So proceed. And by the way, you definitely need a good battery maintainer. Maintain 13.5 volts for the entire process, like the Tornado 90,000 by TOPDON, my favorite. Let's see if we can get in here with GM programming. Alright, so there's left front programming, right front programming, and then we'll just do one at a time here. Next. And see how this goes. Alright, here we go. Successfully completed, press finish. So it did the control function. I was going to do the left front, then the right front, then the rear middle. Hopefully this will take care of everything. Then you get this screen, vehicle processing updated. So now it's doing the right front, looks like. Alright, looks like all the modules have been successfully programmed. So there's left front, right front, center, right rear, rear side, left rear side, right rear side, middle, right rear. Anyways, clear DTCs. And then we'll plug in the regular scanner, make sure the cruise control works, and that there are no more codes set. Alright, so let's back out and do a smart scan. Make sure there's nothing left in the system. Alright, so after programming we have less codes. Serial data gateway, module security, hardware malfunction. Okay, don't care about that. Incorrect assembly. Incorrect assembly. Uh-oh. What if we clear these out? Let's see. Hard faults here. The guy said he got these things on eBay. So let's file that in a report. U3095. So my question is, we start this thing up, is it going to fuss? So if we select cruise control, gap adjust, it's not fussing. Let's take it for a spin, see if the cruise control works. Alright, looks like success. We can change the speed. We can change the, I think, the gap. Super Cruise unavailable, no road information. Oh, okay, well,
it's a subscription.
So you need a subscription for that. And then we can adjust the gap to the vehicle if we had anyone in front, but we don't. The cruise control works, so I think the owner's happy. Are you happy?
Yeah. Success.
Success. No parts required, just a fuse, switched pin, and programming. And this truck is as good as new, so hopefully it'll have a lot of miles left. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Well, bonus footage, we're using the lane assist, so the green light, it keeps you on the road. My hands are not on the steering wheel, but we'll make sure we don't crash. Oh, it's blinking, it's blinking. Oh, it's buzzing me. What does it want? It's Super Cruise disengaging.
And you have glasses on, that's why. He needs to see your eyes.
Come on, engage. There we go. So every few minutes you have to press the button. Why can't they just make it automatic? Alright, it works.